15 OBS things you might do wrong every single day. I'm not going to waste your time at all. I'm going to actually show you some of them right now. Let's go in here. So whenever you're setting up OBS, the first stop that you should be doing is setting up your settings properly from the ground up. So many of you guys are screwing up those settings. Let me disappear. See right behind me, right over here, the settings bar. Let's go over some settings that you are probably botching that may end up screwing up your stream. Most of my clients screw up at least one thing I'm talking about in this video out of the 15 things you may be doing wrong. So click settings. The first one we want to take a look at, this is a fresh profile, is going to the video tab. I'll reappear really quick. And there's a couple things here that a lot of folks don't quite understand. The first thing I want to talk about is getting your frame rate of your content right. So a lot of people think that higher frame rate equals better frame rate all of the time. So there's two main frame rate things that you want to consider. So you're either going to want to go with either 30 frames per second, which is what OBS defaults at, or you're going to want to increase your frame rate up to 60 frames per second, depending on what type of content you're doing. Right now, I'm streaming at 60 frames per second because my camera is 60 frames per second and I have the bandwidth to handle that. But for most of you guys, especially if you have limited computer resources, you want to consider streaming at and recording at 30 frames per second, because you can basically pack in more bits every single time, every single second that you're streaming, and to get a higher quality signal, to get a higher quality product. 60 frames per second is generally only needed for high motion streams, for gameplay, for sports, for example, or if you have a really high fidelity camera that you're wanting to show off, 60 frames per second makes sense. So 90% of the time, you guys should be selecting 30 frames per second, and you can actually get a higher quality stream and a higher quality recording if you do so. It's one thing you may be doing wrong every day. Number two thing that you may be doing wrong every day is selecting the wrong resolution for your canvas versus your actual scaled output. So a lot of folks don't understand what the difference between these two settings is in OBS, and they're completely different. So let me show you what they are and help you understand how to do the best settings for these, because it's something I see screwed up all of the time. OBS will default your canvas, aka this area that you see right back here, as 1080p, as full HD, this canvas area you see here in OBS where you line everything up and you get everything going, right? Well, that's just your canvas. That's not what's being outputted to the live stream itself or to the recording itself, and that's something that you guys need to be thinking about. Let's talk about those considerations. Going back in the settings menu, video tab, this is where you do it. So let's say most of you guys will probably want to do 1920 by 1080 as your canvas. That's full HD, because most of you will be dealing with full HD on your computer. But your canvas size should be whatever the largest input is that you're putting into OBS. So what do I mean by that? If you have a 4K camera, if you have a 4K capture card, your canvas should be 4K. Okay, if you have a 1080p capture card, if you have a 1080p camera, your canvas should be 1080p, because you want your canvas to be the size of the largest input you're bringing in, so you don't have to scale it constantly down or up. What do I mean by that? So let's say that your canvas is 1080p, which is the size that mine is right now that you guys are watching. What that means is that your output can be something different than that. So let's say your canvas right back here, the little black area, is 1080p, but you only want to stream in 720p. You can choose to do that with your scaled resolution, your output here, and dropping that down below 1080p. One thing that a lot of people screw up though, is they see that they set their canvas at 1080p, but they don't ever fix their output to 1080p if they want a full HD stream, and so they're streaming at half quality. The same thing is the case for all of you folks out there that are looking to do 4K streams. If you set your canvas at 4K, your output also has to be at 4K. For those of you that want to stream at 2K, if your canvas is at 2K, your output also has to be at 2K. And the lower that both of these numbers is, the lower the resource usage is on your OBS. So if you guys are having trouble, if you're dropping frames, if you're losing so much of your frames and your bit rate and what have you when you're trying to stream, dropping your canvas and your output resolution can help you do that. And that is something that so many streamers get wrong. I've got 13 more things that people screw up in OBS that I want to help you guys through right after a quick word from today's podcast sponsor. This video is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io? All right, we're back, baby, and we're going to go over 13 more things that you might be doing wrong in OBS every single day. No more jibba jabba. Let's get right back into it. So we are still looking through the settings. What's up, everybody who's watching live? Good to see ya. We're still in the settings. We're now moving from the video tab over to the audio tab. So here's something that gets screwed up all the time and makes people's lives really, really terrible when they're using OBS. By default, your desktop audio and your microphone in OBS is going to be enabled. So it's not going to look like disabled right here. It's going to be enabled and it's going to be on default. So why is that bad? Why is that something that OBS users are doing wrong? I'd say 90% of OBS users are doing that, and it's wrong. Here's why. Whatever your default microphone happens to be on your computer at any given point will just show up in OBS. So if you plug in a new camera, a new microphone, or you unplug your microphone, or you unplug your speakers, or you plug in a new audio device in your computer, it'll just swap it out in OBS automatically if you leave these settings on. Do you want some random device taking over your live stream? Obviously not. And so by disabling every single device here in the audio menu when you're getting started in OBS and manually adding them later is the way to prevent random devices, your crappy built-in mic, those random speakers you plugged in, etc., from just punching through out of nowhere on your stream and punching through out of nowhere and ruining your broadcast. So many clients I've worked with are like asking me, how come I have double audio on my coaching calls? I don't understand. Then I go look in here and they have this enabled, and they added the microphone later as well. And so now they have two versions of their microphone, or two different microphones punching through at the same time in OBS. Disable everything in this audio menu right here. You could be screwing that up every single day. But wait, there's more. We have 12 more. We got 11 or 12 more OBS things you could be doing wrong every day. Let's go to the output tab. Here's something that tons of people, when they're getting started with OBS, don't know all of the settings in here. This is where the magic sauce happens. This is where you maximize the quality of your stream. Pay very, very close attention to everything I'm saying here. So when you go into your OBS settings here within the output tab, the output mode is set on simple by default. Do not use simple. Repeat it with me in the comments and in chat. Do not use simple. Simple is bad. So you want to use advanced mode, and you want to select perfect settings just for you and just for what you are trying to accomplish. Okay? So what you're going to do is click this down and go to advanced. Now it's going to open up a whole world of possibilities for you. I'm about to double your video quality. I'm about to double your audio quality right now. I'm about to stop those dropped frames from you. All of that right here, just in this menu. All that stuff that's a pain in the ass for you, let's solve it right now. So stop number one here, tip number one here is if you have an NVENC encoder. So if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you're going to want to use the NVENC encoder here within this menu. So what does that mean? Drop down the encoder menu here, and if you have an NVIDIA graphics card that's relatively new, select NVIDIA NVENC encoder. What that means is that your graphics card is going to take the load off of your CPU, your processor on your computer, and it's going to handle all of that load for you instead of putting it on the processor. And the quality of your stream will increase as well because the NVIDIA encoder, your graphics card encoder, is much higher quality. Cool? Beautiful. So that's one step. The next step here is manually selecting your settings for your streaming and for your recording separately. So what do I mean by that? So here under your bitrate for streaming, I have videos on this, but you need to look up what the recommended bitrate is for each platform for streaming. I recommend selecting CBR, which is constant bitrate, and you need to choose the highest bitrate you can stream in, and I'm going to go over how to determine this later, that you can stream in to get up to the quality that you want. Generally speaking, your minimum that you're going to want to stream at is going to be 3000 kbps right here, up to about 6000 kbps, generally speaking. And if you have the system resources for it, increase to max quality. This will boost the quality of your stream up drastically. This, in combination with the previous things I just told you with your settings, will get you a much higher quality stream where you can look realistic and you can look really good. Like right now, if you see, do you see how smooth the motion is on my stream I'm doing right now? This is 1080p, 60 frames per second. You see how I'm not really stuttering? You see how kind of clear my skin is on the stream? It's because I have optimized video settings for smooth video, and I'm using my graphics card to do the stream that I'm showing you right now. I'm doing right now everything I'm telling you about to maximize quality. But wait, there's more. So whatever you're streaming at is probably going to be a low setting. So yet your next tip, I still have 10 more things you could be doing wrong, by the way. Your next tip is to go over to the recording tab and to separately select what you're going to be recording at in OBS. So by default, it'll default you as using your stream encoder. But generally speaking, you're going to want to record at a higher quality than what you're streaming at, right? So in order to do that, you drop down your encoder and you manually select the encoder separate from your stream encoder. Hopefully you have an NVIDIA encoder. If not, use X264. I like to use MP4 format for my videos. And what you do here under bitrate here is you increase the quality of the bitrate of your recording higher to what you're doing on your stream. So I'm going to be doing replays of this podcast, for example, and it's going to be more than double the bitrate for the replays versus what you're watching live. This can generate much higher quality recordings. So for example, if you're recording in 1080p 60 frames, you want to go up to 15,000 kbps right here, but you might only be streaming at 6,000, okay? So separate settings for your recording versus your stream, and bumping up those settings to a very high bitrate, as high as you can reasonably manage here, maximizes the quality of your recording. Don't just record at the same settings as your stream. It will be much lower quality. If you're having issues with it being blurry or whatever, this could help solve that issue. Question from our man on Twitch says, sorry to interrupt, but is this just for console or just PC streaming? This is if you're streaming your console gameplay, your PC gameplay, anybody who's using OBS, these things that I'm talking about that people do wrong every day, no matter what the input is, whether it's a camera, whether it's gaming gear, whether it's whatever sort of capture device, all of these apply to every type of stream, gaming or otherwise, okay? I do work for clients across the finance sector, the gaming sector, all of this applies. And a lot of you guys have been asking me about gear giveaways and wanting to get free stuff. And right now, I've partnered up with Rode microphones and Restream as well as TubeBuddy, and I'm giving away an $1,100 package right now that you guys can win for free, including this microphone, this boom stand, let me show it to you right now, and this Rodecaster Pro mixer, all included in the package. It is freaking free. It is the most insane giveaway I've ever done. $1,100 in gear. Plus it includes a TubeBuddy license, a Legend license, a 3-month, I think, and it includes a Restream license, a 3-month as well. So you get the software for streaming, the software for YouTube, and the hardware in terms of a premium audio setup, literally the one you're hearing right now, all for freaking free. Enter this giveaway. I just put the link in live chat. It'll be in the descriptions on the replay as well. I wish you guys all the best in this contest. It's an insane package, freaking free. Thank you to all of these companies. They just gave us this stuff for free to give away to you. So there you go. Wanted to make you aware for that. If you have not already entered, yeah, that is obviously worth your time to do that. But let's continue on the other things that may be that you may want to improve upon to improve the quality of your streams. Do you want me to double your audio quality? Okay, I'm happy to double your audio quality by clicking this audio tab right over here. So here's yet another thing that people may be doing wrong every day. We still have 9 more to go, by the way. 9 things that people may do wrong every day. By default, OBS will put your bitrate for audio at 160. 160 is not very good, guys. That's like a mid-tier quality MP3. That's not good. If you watched all the way to this part, I just doubled your audio quality. Here's what you do. You drop these menus down and you take it from 160 to 320. This doubles the bit rate. it doubles essentially the literal mathematical quality of your audio on your recordings and your live stream from like a low to mid-tier MP3, a mid-tier MP3 to the highest quality MP3 on earth. Drop all these menus down and change them all to 320 and double your audio quality right now. There's no reason for you not to do it. There you go. You're welcome. You now have double audio quality. Thank you for watching. Okay, we've still got some other things to talk about in terms of your strategy. You guys ready? You guys following along? Here it is. The next one is this. A lot of people, when they're starting streaming on OBS, they only choose one platform to stream to, and they take it from this drop-down menu. But there's an option here that you guys, I'm currently using, that I recommend that you guys check out, which is called Restream. Restream.io. You can stream to literally every single platform with Restream instead of just going to one. Why would you do that? I mean, literally, here's my stream right now. I've got viewers on YouTube, on Periscope, on Twitch, also on Facebook. I'm quadrupling my viewership by being live on all of these platforms at the same time with Restream, and there's no reason for anyone who's using OBS not to drop down Restream from this menu and stream to every platform to grow faster. So if you guys are interested in doing that, you guys are interested in growing your live stream faster, which I imagine that you guys would be interested, there's a link below, and also I'm dropping in chat right now for you guys to pick that up. It's a huge mistake, in my opinion, for anyone to be live streaming on the internet right now and streaming to only one platform unless those platforms are paying you cash. By default, it looks like you should go to Twitch because that's what OBS literally defaults every user to Twitch. Twitch is a zero growth platform. Restream can stream you to every platform. So if there's any growth to be had on any platform in terms of streaming, selecting Restream as your streaming option here will help you grow much faster. Thank you for sponsoring this podcast, Restream. But wait, there's more. There's even more stuff that people screw up and get wrong every single day in OBS that I want to talk about right now. And I bet here comes some of the more advanced ones. I bet some of you guys do this stuff and you're like, oh, oops. Are you ready? All right, here's one. All right, let's go ahead and add some sources over here in OBS. So one thing I see everybody, like so many clients doing, is they will shove everything into one scene versus having multiple scenes. So what do I mean by that? Let's just add some stuff in here into the scene and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we're gonna add an image. Let me go ahead and browse and just go find some images here on my computer. Here's a banner, perfect. Here's an image source. Let's go ahead and transform this and make it fit to screen. I'm just gonna add a couple here as an example to go over the next items that people screw up. We're gonna do a microphone. So I'm gonna add the microphone I have plugged into that computer, the Shure MV7. We're gonna add that right here, right? And then let's add one other thing. Just as an example, we'll do let's see here, a display capture of one of my other displays. We'll choose my vertical display, not that one, my vertical display. There we go. There's chat. Okay, so I've got three things that I've got here in OBS that I'm done doing in real time. A big mistake that I see a lot of people making in OBS is they will shove literally everything that they ever wanted to have into their stream in one scene. And what they'll be doing instead of setting up multiple scenes is they'll be eyeballing on and off each of these sources as they want them to turn on and off. Let me go ahead and add a camera here just as an example so you guys can kind of see what I mean. And so what they will do is we will add my live streamer cam. There it is. Cool. So let's say, for example, you wanted a scene where you were in the bottom left like this, and you have all this content on the screen. Boom. Awesome. Now you have a scene for that. But a mistake I see a lot of people using OBS and broadcasting software will do is when they want to turn their camera off and they maybe want to reconfigure the screen, maybe they want this over here instead, or they want their camera bigger over here, they will do it within this one scene rather than making a separate scene for it altogether. That's bad. You should be making a different scene for everything you want to do. And so the thing you're doing wrong here is you need to go ahead and right click over here under scene, and you can just duplicate the existing scene that you have and then create a new one that's the new configuration. So let's say in this scene, I'm up in the top right and my chat is bigger and it's like this. And then the other scene, it was like the other configuration. Now, whenever you click the different scenes, It changes the configuration of everything on the screen based on what you want, rather than having to turn on and off every single little source here in OBS. And it's just such a pain to do that. Set up a scene for every single thing that you want to do on your recordings and your broadcast, and it will be to your benefit. For example, I've got this scene right here while I'm full screen with this capture behind me. I've got this scene right here with me having a camera up here in the corner. I can wave to you guys and show you my studio. I've also got this scene right here where I can do on-screen demos. Imagine how ridiculous it would be if I had to reconfigure all those things every single time I wanted to go to them, set up precise different scenes for literally everything you want to do, okay? But wait, there's more. You guys mentioned it in chat earlier. Microphones. You guys have to add filters to your microphones to help you with all of the different audio issues that can come up in the future. And let me show you my favorite filters that can help. Right now, I don't know if you guys can hear it in the background. There is literally a Blue Angel airplane flying over my house. Do you hear it? There's literally a Blue Angel airplane flying over my house. If you guys can't hear it, then it's because the noise suppression filter is working. So here is yet another thing that people are doing wrong. With your microphone inputs, what you're going to do is add the following filters to make virtually every single microphone sound better. Are you ready? If you're not using microphone filters to make yourself sound better, you need to start today. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click on the microphone, you're going to click filters, and then it's going to pull open this menu right here. You're going to click the plus button down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and the first filter that you're going to add, if you have a noisy environment, is called noise suppression. Just hit OK. All you're going to do is just leave it on the RN noise, higher quality, and it's just going to suppress out everything but vocals. So if you're playing music, that's a different story. If you're DJing, that's a different story. If you only want vocals to go through, this will suppress all audio but vocals very effectively, eliminating background noise like a freaking genius filter. But wait, there's more. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is add a compressor to your audio. What does a compressor do? A compressor makes it so that your audio sounds more consistent, and it's about the same volume all the way through the entire recording. And so the settings I recommend by adding compressor is dropping the ratio down to 4:1. And then it makes your audio sound more consistent. Do I sound consistent to you right now? Is my volume level pretty consistent this entire stream? Am I clear and easy to understand? That's because I'm using this, literally using this filter right now. You guys are listening to me sounding very clear and consistent. And the last filter that a lot of people aren't using that they should be, it's free in OBS, is the limiter. And the reason why you're going to want to add the limiter is if you get super loud or if you get super hyped, you don't want to blow the freaking heads off of everybody that you're broadcasting to. Increase that limiter to -3 dB right up there, and it prevents you from clipping and hurting people's ears during your broadcast. There's nothing worse than blowing people's heads off in terms of your audio. Big mistake that so many creators are doing. Add these 3 filters and it will sound so much better. All right, but wait, there's more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mistakes that people are making every single day in OBS that you might be doing wrong that I want you to know about right now. Let's go into the next one. And that's ensuring that your audio is synced with your video. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So obviously video, let's talk about it real quick. Video moves slower than audio. Why? This video signal you're looking at right now is a lot more data. Me here on camera is so much more data to push for your computer than the audio is. Audio is like 1/10 of the data, maybe less, maybe 1/20 of the data. So that means if the video is a lot more data, it goes slower than the audio does. So how do you fix that? That means that your audio and your video might be out of sync. How do you fix that? So many creators just ignore this and it's a little bit off and it's super annoying. So how do you fix that? What you do is you go to your microphone if you want, or whatever input you want to sync up, and you click the gear cog next to it right here, and you go to it, and I'll disappear so you can see it, and you go to advanced audio properties. Once you do that, it'll pull up this advanced audio properties menu, and this is where you can sync up your any of your audio with your video. And what you're going to do is this. You're going to want to make your audio go slower so it can go as slow as your video. How do you do that? You type a number in here right next to your microphone. A good starting place for most webcams, most cam links, most video devices that are running in full HD is 225 milliseconds. Start there. That will slow the audio from your microphone down so that it syncs up with your video. Right now, this microphone is going 225 milliseconds slower than it actually is, so that it syncs up with the visuals and my lips that you're watching right now. I'm using this trick right now so my audio and video are in sync, so it doesn't look like this. Okay? That's another thing so many people screw up. It's an important detail to get people to watch your content for longer. But wait, there's more. I promised you guys. Hey, Andraxis, it's good to see you there, buddy. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. But wait, there's more. There's irrelevant audio sources that are junking up your OBS right over here. You see those little guys? I do not like those guys. I can't stand them, actually. So pay attention to this one. This one is a quality of life item that is going to make you say, it truly is. Okay. I've seen people with like 20 of these right here. It's a sad, sad moment whenever I pull up their computer. Why would you want to have a ton of audio sources here in your audio mixer that you don't actually need to see or that you're not actually using? Big mistake. It makes it hard for you to identify real issues or real problems or manage your OBS if you have all that crap right here. So what do you do about it? What you do is this. Number one, you mute audio sources that you're not actually using by hitting the mute button right there. Then you click the gear cog next to it and you hide that audio source. So now the only audio sources that should be right here in your audio mixer are ones that you're actually using. So you can see visually, am I peaking? You can see visually, is it muted? You can see visually, is my gameplay audio coming through? You can see visually, are the guests on my podcast too low, too high? By removing all the junk and hiding all the junk, it makes your audio mixer nice and clean and clear so that you can succeed more effectively with your audio, okay? But wait, there's more. We have even more things that people screw up and don't do. Are you ready? The next one is this. I know it looks real cool, y'all. I know it's super, super cool. Studio mode. I don't know how many of you guys like studio mode or not. I'd say 1 out of 4 clients, coaching clients, where I pull up their OBS, they've got studio mode going, and and why? Because they think it makes it more professional or something. I don't know. Why use studio mode when you don't need it? So what is studio mode? You click it and it sets up your OBS to where it's basically a preview window over on the side over here, right? And then it's the final program over here on the right. And so basically what it allows you to do, studio mode allows you to edit everything on this first panel before you punch it in over here to the second panel. That's what studio mode does. 95% of you guys do not need to use studio mode. And if your OBS currently looks like this, turn off studio mode by clicking the button right back here and just have one preview window up in the middle. That's all you need. You're using more system resources by having it in studio mode if you're not running some sort of professional control room setup, okay? Do not use studio mode unless you, for some reason, have to edit everything before it goes live on the air and you're running a control room, which I've done for a living in the past. Very rarely will you guys need to use that. Studio mode bad. For 95% of you, don't make that mistake. Really quick. I am now, remember the trick I told you earlier where I told you that I am recommending that you guys record your content in a much higher quality than you're actually streaming it, right? Remember that tip I gave you guys earlier? Well, I just dropped the link in chat. I am recording this podcast now, and I literally just a few minutes ago opened a dedicated channel just for this podcast where I'm going to have triple quality replays on YouTube. It's called AWOL Podcast. It's in the description. It's also in live chat. Go subscribe to this channel if you want to get the super high definition replays of these. They will not be available on my main channel anymore. AWOL Podcast, dedicated channel just for the replays of this show. If you ever want to go reference anything I'm talking about, go check that out. I just wanted to have a dedicated location only for these longer form tutorials and live streams that I'm doing. Go subscribe today. But wait, there's more. So one thing I talked about earlier is streaming at the right bit rate. So this is a question I get a lot. What is the right bit rate for me to stream at? I don't know. And a lot of people think they have fast internet. You probably don't. And if you do have fast internet, you're probably looking at the wrong thing. What do I mean by that? Here's how you figure out what the maximum bit rate is that you can stream at. Are you ready? You need to choose the right bit rate to stream at. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google and you're going to type in speed test, okay? And you're going to go ahead and run a speed test right here. I'm not going to do it right now because obviously that would destroy my internet and destroy this live version. But you're going to run the speed test and it's going to give you two numbers. It's going to give you your download speed, and then it's going to give you your upload speed. The only number that you should care about is your upload speed. Your download speed does not matter basically at all when it comes to live streaming, okay? And so what you want to do is you want to take whatever your number is in terms of your upload speed, and you want to make sure that you stream below that. So let me just show you what I mean. So let's say the upload speed that the speed test tells you is that you have 10 megabytes per second upload speed. That's pretty good. What I recommend is taking whatever your upload speed is and not streaming at the maximum. Stream at 30% below the maximum of what your upload speed is as the absolute most. So for example, if you have 10 megabytes upload, what you do is times 0.7, that'll give you 70% of your upload speed, or minus 30% of your upload speed, and that equals obviously 7, simple math in this case. So that means 30% below your maximum upload speed is 7 megabytes per second, right? So if that's your upload speed in this example, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that information, you're gonna go into your settings, you're gonna go over here to output in the streaming tab, and let's talk about something that's kind of confusing for people. So I just said 7 megabytes per second, but OBS doesn't take megabytes, it takes kbps. So the simple way to remember it is, if you want 7 megabytes, that's 7,000 kbps. If you want 6 megabytes, that's 6,000 kbps. If you want 5 megabytes, that's 5,000 kbps, okay? Whatever the number of megabyte upload is that it tells you you have, it's 1,000 of that. Got it? Punch that in right here. That's the maximum bit rate you should be streaming at. Most people that are dropping frames on their live streams, it's because they're pushing their upload speed too hard. You might be doing that wrong every single day. But wait, there's more. I promised you 15 things things that you may not have expected that you are doing wrong every single day in OBS. This one, I bet a lot of you guys aren't using. Even you advanced users out there that are just watching because you like me. You ready? This is a way to diagnose issues with your computer where you're dropping frames, or you're getting some chug, or it's a little bit slow, and it's a feature that you may not be aware of. Secret feature, I would call it. Secret. That's my Inception sound for secret. Go to View, and what you're gonna do is drop down in this menu, and it's a feature called Stats. I don't know how many of you guys use this, but it is brilliant for diagnosing issues with your live stream. It tells you everything you need to know in one menu, in one location. Secret feature. It tells you CPU usage, if you are spiking up your CPU too high. It tells you how much storage you have available. It tells you how much memory OBS is using. It tells you how many drop frames that you have. It's telling you how your bit rate is doing in real time. It's telling you what your frame rate is. It's telling you, most importantly, check this out. It tells you how many frames were missed due to rendering lag. And it tells you how many skip frames because of encoding lag. It helps you identify all of those issues that you could be having with your live stream in real time, all in one menu. And let's say that you implement a fix and you change a setting and you're like, that's going to work now. You can just hit the reset button right here. It'll reset all of the numbers and then you can run the test all over again. The stats menu tells you everything you need to know to fix dropped frames, lag, buffering, your computer's chugging, crap like that. This menu can be the ultimate solve potentially for all of those issues that you've run into. Make sense? Look, so many of you guys have come book me. I get about 2 people per day that book me to help them with their OBS and their Streamlabs OBS, to help them with their webinars, whatever it may be. And also, I have lots of gaming creators that book me for one-on-one coaching. If you are interested, I've got a link below and one I'm dropping in chat. You can book me for one-on-one coaching. You literally just go to my website. You go down to the calendar here at the bottom, pick your day, pick your time, hit confirm, type in your information, tell me what you want me to help you with, and boom, I am on a one-on-one video call with you, helping you succeed. I just got off call a minute ago with a gaming creator that is looking to go full time and just put a whole strategy together for them. And tonight I'm meeting with one of the top marketing executives, our top marketing people on all of YouTube to help them with their Streamlabs. And I'm here to help you as well. Those are the 13 things you may be doing wrong every single day using Streamlabs OBS. I hope that at least one of those items helped you. And I am going to go live every Tuesday and Thursday with this podcast. And once again, remember, I've got that dedicated replays channel, of course, AWOL podcast that you see right behind me. Go check that out for the highest definition replays. Adios, amigos, and best of luck with your online broadcasting.